I'm back. Did you survive June? I I survived June. June was crazy. I did not record on time, which should have been last week, but I've been busy traveling and working and then traveling again and then enjoying the Pride Month or celebrating the Pride Month. And now it's July, so here I am back recording. Last time I recorded, I was in Tuscany, Italy, and that was in the middle of my trip in Italy. I think I just finished Milan, Bologna, and started with Tuscany. And after I recorded last time, I went to Cinque Terre. So I guess this time I can tell more about Cinque Terre and the rest of the trip. But also I want to not wrap up, but just to give information on the make along, the Pride pot make along that was happening in June. I decided to extend the Pride Pot make along, meaning that if you haven't submitted your information of your project, or if you place it somewhere and maybe I haven't seen it or seen them, you can comment on this video. You can put anything, just mention you are contributing or you're participating in the Pride Pot make along, and I will draw from those comments the possible winners. So I think I will just extend it until the end of July. So again, if you're not sure what Pride Pot make along, go to my knitting Instagram, and I have some more information there. And we were celebrating the queer makers, artists, designers during the month of June, and then we are making along with anything from the queer artists. It could be their design or their yarn or their knitting accessories, and just to embrace or celebrate and support our knitting community, especially the queer makers or the queer community in the knitting field space. So if you still want to, because I do have some prizes that I will share, so if you would like to be entered to the the possibility of winning the prize, just leave a comment in this video, and then I will draw some winners at the end of the month. So okay, as I mentioned, now I'm back at my house after some vacation trips, some back to work right away, and also the month of June with Pride celebration. So let's see. Actually, let's start with the Cinque Terre. So when I got to Cinque Terre, I started with Rio Maggiore, the town where I stayed. It turned out to be my favorite Cinque Terre town. So there are 5 towns in Cinque Terre. Well, the one that is formally under Cinque Terre, but there are so many towns, even if it's not the Cinque Terre proper in the list. But Rio Maggiore, as you can see here, and this is also in the beginning of the video, I made a a time lapse of me switching my photography display. So my tradition is every time I travel, if I have really good pictures that I took during the travel, I print it out on canvas. So I use a website, I forgot the name, but anyway, you can just look online. This is a 30-inch by 40-inch, 30 inches by 40 inches canvas. And the website that I use, they always have some sort of discount, so this is not too expensive, but this is really really well made. The previous one, if you have seen my previous videos, it is a picture of me in North Sumatra with my mom on one of the street in Medan, North Sumatra town, where we, were looking for some street food, and then it was a noodle stall, like a fried noodle place where we got a really good North Sumatra noodle. But this now I switched, so kind of like my house becoming, like an exhibition of my photography, travel photography. So, like the month of July, it's the Cinque Terre. So this is Rio Maggiore. So I took this picture from the water, looking up, to the town and also the background. So if you have, seen the Cinque Terre pictures, a lot of these beautiful, colorful, buildings or, apartment right next to the water, and then it's really hilly, and so as I mentioned, there are 5 different towns. So this one is Rio Maggiore. So when I arrived to Rio Maggiore, I checked in, like it was, I think, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I already finished the check-in. I think my my hotel is right there. So it's right away I went to the water. I just put on my Speedo. And I put on this top right here, which I, specifically made 5 days before I left to Italy. And I haven't washed it since I got back. Well, I washed it once, and then I washed it once, and then I wore it to the Pride Parade a couple of days ago. But I need to clean it after this. But because I need something to show during the recording, so I put it on the display here. But yeah, I was wearing this top, and I was wearing my, like running shorts on top of the Speedo. And then I just grabbed the hotel cotton, not really towel, but like beach linen kind of thing. And then just put it around my neck. So if you go to the Instagram, you will see how I dressed up that whole trip in Cinque Terre, and then I went to the water and stayed in the water, or off and off, on and off the water nearby, so you can see all these rocks formation here. So we just jumped to the water from the rock. I stayed there for 4 hours. It's just amazing. So because of that, because how amazing it is, I decided to make some sort of like a quick review, but the review is from a different perspective. A lot of time YouTube review of Cinque Terre, people went hiking to the top, point of each town, and then they take picture from the top. So what I was doing is I went to the water, and then I brought my GoPro with me, GoPro camera that is waterproof, and then I recorded while I'm swimming in the water. So I will add those videos at the end of this this podcast, if you want to watch it. But I also placed some of them in my knitting Instagram, but I will place all my review. I think there are 3 review. There are 2 towns that I did not do review, Cornelia, I did not do review from the water because Cornelia is pretty really hilly, and it depends, if it's like a high tide or low tide. It is possible to get to the water, from right away from the train station. I mean, I'm sure if you have like a transportation, you go somewhere to get to the, like a entry point to swim in the town. But my review is just from my perspective after, taking the train to each town. So Cornelia I did not take, but I definitely take Rio Maggiore, Monterosso, and Fernazza. So if you want to see, you go, to the end of this podcast. So that's Cinque Terre, and I also was so happy I stayed at my friend's place. My friend's my friend Marco, he has in Tuscany. I mean, in Tuscany, he has an Airbnb, and that's the place where I recorded you know, the last episode. And Marco is really nice. He showed me his town, and he, so his his town, or where he's from, is Tuscany, and specifically it's called Monterosso. No, sorry, Montecatini Terme, and and at the before I went to Cinque Terre, he gave me a what do you call, like a wafer from Montecatini, like a really like a local dessert. It was really nice, and so that's Marco, and yeah, Cialde di Montecatini, I think, that he gave. So it was nice to have Cialde di Montecatini. It was a nice trip, basically. So and then after that, after Cinque Terre, I went back to Milan, and in Milan, I already talked about Milan in the previous episode, so nothing special other than that my first night I was in Milan. I went to that ballet. So what else? Now let's go back to knitting. So since I have been traveling, and I am pretty much a monogamous knitter, other than finishing this guy before I went to Italy, I was working on a sock or socks that is, there's no pattern, but I just, add a lace pattern to the socks, and I use the yarn that I got from Athens, Greece. During my trip earlier this year, during the Valentine's Day, and the yarn that I got there, you can find this everywhere. It's a Lang Donegal, but the guy who owns the yarn store, it's Malia Sakalak. Somalia, I guess, yarn in their language, and Sakalak is his last name. He loves, like a merino wool from Lang, so it is a merino, a Donegal tweed Lang, and this is it. So I pretty much finish it today. So right now it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. But I was, I was drinking my coffee earlier today while finishing this up because I finished one of the sock couple days. Oh no, I finished one of the sock while I was in Italy, and then I started the second one in the water. I mean, by the water of Rio Maggiore. So I was one day I was just spending the whole day knitting by the water and people watching. I'm telling you, if you ever, go to Cinque Terre, make sure you spend one day to just slow down, not go anywhere, not taking the train, bring your knitting, pick a spot by the water, under the shade, whatever, and just knit. And it was, that was the highlight of one of the highlights of my trip, and in Rio Maggiore, and also that's when I took one of these pictures. So I mean, I took so many pictures. This is just one of them that I decided to print. But anyway, so here we are. So as you can see, this is Donegal Tweedy yarn, and also I put a really simple lace stitch here from all the way up, but only on the front side, so nothing on the back and nothing on the bottom. And I do it toe up. And what else? One of these does not take the whole 50 grams, so I have two 50-gram balls of the Donegal yarn. Each, I think I have maybe in total 20 grams left, and this is already long enough, I think it goes all the way almost to my calves, whatever. Up, yeah. Anyway, and yeah, the beautiful plum color, and the fun part about getting this when I was in Athens was the guy said, well, this color is new, and then that goes perfectly with your color. I'm like, that is actually true. So so I know exactly what I want this to be. I want it to be really nice, simple socks that doesn't have too much color, or too many colors in the sock. As you can see, I use the same yarn for the heels, and ribbing, and the toes. Like I did not try to find like complementary color for them, and still with using the same yarn, I still have a lot left. So yeah, I think it's just fingering maybe a little bit to the sports weight, and I use US size 0. I could have used US size 00 or like a 00, but and I work using a double pointed needles. Another funny thing. So before I went to Cinque Terre, I mentioned I was in Tuscany, staying at my friend's Airbnb. One day I went to Lucca from Montecatini. So in Lucca, the reason I went there is because I wanted to see Puccini's museum, because I love Puccini, and Puccini is from Lucca. And the sad thing was there was a blackout in the plaza where Puccini's museum is, which is supposedly his old house that they converted into a museum. Anyway, while I was in the plaza, I noticed that they put art on the, like an outdoor art on the outside, the surrounding area in the plaza, where they draw on each of the front like the storefront, when they close the stores, there is this, like a rolling big door to, to secure the place. And each huge rolling door got painted with a single, or like like a woman from Puccini's work. So there is Turandot, there is it Turandot or Liu from Turandot, and then so anyway, so there are 12 women. And when I was taking picture of one of them, the owner started to open the store, and as she was opening the store, I started to see yarn in a, like in a glass drawer, or like display, in a glass display. And I'm like, wait a minute, it cannot be a yarn store. But it actually is. So you know there was no museum because of the blackout, but there was that yarn store. So I decided to go to the yarn store and just, chit chat with the owner. And she was nice enough, to, I mean, I speak Italian, so she's okay with my, like my Italian, like, but we talk about, because, she asked me, what are you working on? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm working on this guy. And then she was like, oh yeah, I'm teaching a sock class. And then do you have the pattern? So I said, oh no, this is just, like a regular socks that I add a lace pattern. So he was like, oh, so how did you, learn to knit? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's all YouTube. And then she was like, which YouTube? And I was like, well, one of them that I really love is, Arna and Carlos, because I don't know if you have watched my previous episodes or my earlier episodes. I did mention that Arna and Carlos are the first, like the first people who introduced, or during pandemic, that I really pick up knitting. So she was like, oh yeah, I know, she knows Arna and Carlos. And there was, while I was there, I was talking to her, there was, like huge cones of tweed that, like made in Italy. I'm like, but I was in Lucca for just the day. I did not bring anything, and I was still planning to travel to so many places. But I almost brought, 2 cones of Donegal tweed wool that is brown and black, and each of them, I'm pretty sure I have enough to make, sweater. But I did not at the end, and I kind of regret it, because I could have just, bought those cones and just, get an extra. Oh yeah, there's another thing. I travel kind of light. I only have a backpack and a purse. So if I wanted to get those cones, I would have needed, like another, like, or, like at least a little suitcase where I put everything at the end. But I did not want to do that. So maybe one time, or one day, or soon enough, I need to do, like a travel mostly for yarn, where I actually, put space in my luggage, or, backpack for yarn to bring over. But anyway, I was just happy connecting with local people in Lucca. And I did not try to find any yarn store anywhere else during that trip, which is interesting. Maybe because, it's kind of the start of summer, so I don't really feel like finding wool anyway. So yeah, so that was nice. So anyway, so that is Italy. I got back home, went to work, and then there is the Pride. In the Pride, I wore this. Oh, during the Pride, let me see. Sorry, I should have I should have been more prepared for all this information. So if you keep seeing me taking, time to figure out what I need to say, just bear with me. But anyway, in the Pride, I went there with, I went there with my friend from um, Jersey, and also I have a friend who is visiting from Montreal, visiting his family who lives in White Plain, New York, but he's from Montreal. So we met up in the city. Oh, there's another friend who lives in Harlem. So there are four of us. And then, we started with brunch, and then we finished at 2 o'clock with brunch, and then we went to the West Village, and we picked a place, or we've picked a spot in West Village where it's kind of like shaded and, pretty near the street where the parade will, pass by. And um, at some point, anyway, one of my friend that I met from P-Town, Provincetown, who also knit, he saw me, and he was with his husband, and his name is Rolly, and this is Rolly, and Rolly is wearing this is Hot Mesh Tank by Pearl Jam, at Pearl_Jam on Instagram, and I was wearing my this guy right here, and I don't know, and we did not make an appointment to meet up. I don't even know he was coming, because he's in Connecticut, and I did not know he's coming to New York. But yeah, we always just run into each other. Like in Provincetown, we also ran into our, just like, we were introduced in one of the pool party. I know. And then at the same time, we ran into a yarn retreat in P-Town that year. And and we met a lot more other male knitters during, it was a bear week in P-Town. And so anyway, and then since then, every time we go to, every time there is, Rhinebeck, we would meet up at Rhinebeck, just say hi, because, I don't usually visit Connecticut. Is he from Connecticut? Yes, Connecticut. And, or, like now, New York City is pretty much in the middle. So that was good. That was fun. It was a good parade. It rained at the end, but doesn't matter. We had Indonesian food after the parade, and what else? Yeah, did not knit at all because it was really busy during the parade, but we saw a lot of things, which is fun. So that's pretty much the update. Again, I will place the video from Rio Maggiore at the end of this. And I guess I can share with what I'm going to knit next. I have this silk from Tuscany, I guess. It is made, or Charming Yarn and Wool Jedifra, from I guess it's made in Italy, Fior di Seta, 100% silk or recycled silk. It's sport weight. I don't know if I want to make another one of these, or like definitely another summer top, but I just don't know what I want to make. Do I want to make some sort of that, the one that Rolly was wearing, the mesh tank, or like a little bit more open than this, or just a simple, no, definitely not a simple net stitch. I don't know. Again, just finished this today. Monogamous knitter, nothing on the needle. So I have this. I picked it up from local yarn store. It's not from Italy because, as I mentioned, I did not. But this color though, yeah. So maybe, yes. I don't know. Maybe a V-neck or like another tank top, mesh tank top. Maybe mesh tank top. Maybe. I mean, there's so many. I want a mesh tank top anyway. I mean, this is already meshy. Like, it's already open, but yes, I think mesh tank top. I guess. But that's it. Nothing else. Again, if you would like to enter your project to the drawing of the prizes for Pride Pot Make Along, comment, leave a comment on this video and just say, whatever project you are making, or who was the designer, or whatever, LGBT or queer, arts that you're supporting with your project, and I'll draw from there. I'll try to go back to every 2 weeks recording. Definitely next week I cannot, because again, I'm traveling again in the weekend. But the week after, am I going to Provincetown afterwards? When is Bear Weekend? Somebody comment. When is Bear Weekend this year? I still am not sure if I'm going to Bear Weekend this year. Or Bear Week in Provincetown. But if I have the time, I would. But work is getting crazy too, so who knows? So yeah, it's not a short update, but I definitely do want to update. I was thinking, why, do I keep making this YouTube video of knitting? Like, who even cares? Well, I, reminded myself why I did this, initially, because I do want to create a space for, male knitters out there. Again, it confirms, like my initial thought that, we should celebrate, be extra. We celebrate your creativity, whatever it is that you like to make, knit, crochet, just love whatever you're making. But again, coming as a male, perspective, or and with a larger body size, it's not a lot, and also left-handed knitters. Definitely is not a mainstream or the general public, audience of a knitting, either design or product. So it's nice to see representation out there, from different backgrounds. So that's why, I was like, all right, let me continue just giving updates on what I'm making. But definitely, I do have a lot of people who ask me for the pattern on this one. I kind of share how I made this in the previous episode, but let me know if a lot of some of you are, actually wanting some sort of pattern. I don't know. Maybe I will write a pattern, maybe not. But I feel like if I do write a pattern, then I don't know. I have to be ready with what comes with that. Meaning, there will be a lot of support that I have to provide, once the pattern is out and all that. Or, am I ready? Is there something that I like? It's not that I cannot do it. It's just, will I enjoy it? Will I continue to see this as an outlet, creativity, a creative outlet for my, you know instead of, oh, now it becomes just another job. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's it. Until next time, be extra, be brave, love what you knit or love what you work on, and work on something that you love. All right, bye. The first city that I'm going to in Cinque Terre, and I'm about to go into the water. As you can see here, I'm just gonna jump. All right, let's do it. Okay, let's look at the water. Morning. So now it is Monterosso, which is another Cinque Terre town, and this is the farthest from Rio Maggiore, and also this is the only town that has a sandy beach. So a little bit different than the experience yesterday. First, not a lot of people, because as you can see, this is an open ocean. So lots of, well, not waves, but the water is not, as calm as yesterday. Another thing is, you cannot really see under the water because of the sand situation. But it's a different situation. So another interesting thing, Monterosso is the town where I guess one of the creators of Disney's movie Luca, or is this Disney or Pixar? I don't know. Maybe Pixar. Luca came from. If you have seen the movie, you know that the town Luca is living is called Ponterosso, and this is Monterosso. So there should be areas in Monterosso that looks like the background of Ponterosso. Anyway, so after this I will go check out the town of Monterosso, but I'm not gonna stay the whole morning. Maybe before lunch I go to another town or do a hike. No, maybe I go to another town before I do the hike, because I want to. Anyway, we'll see. All right, bye. Hi. Now I am in Fernazza, which is the fourth town. The first one was Rio Maggiore, where I stay, and then Monterosso. I stopped by Cornelia before here, but Cornelia is not really accessible for swimming, so no review in the water. And now it's Fernazza. Just like Rio Maggiore, it's a small swimming hole, like a swimming place, but I really love Rio Maggiore more, so I'm really happy I stay and started in Rio Maggiore. So if we want to see the water, see how the water is. So definitely Rio Maggiore is much better. Anyway.